Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another process video, and I am still using my In the Mood Scrapbook Stash kit that I created. If you're new to my channel and you don't know what that is, be sure you check out the In the Mood video where I show you everything that I pulled for the kit that I'm using for the month of February. And the first thing I'm doing is just going through and giving you a really quick review or view of what I pulled from the kit for this layout. And as usual, some of it gets used, some of it doesn't. So this one is primarily going to focus on the blue side. A little bit of purple is thrown in there, but it's going to be mostly blue layout. I am also focusing on, if you know the mood board, I am focusing on the angles or the triangle pattern or picture that is in the top left, I believe, on the mood board, and I will try to put a picture of that at the end of this video as well. But that's where I'm taking sort of my inspiration from for this one. And the first thing while I've been talking that I'm doing here is I am taking some washi tape, and it's just a blue stripe, diagonal stripe, and I put that on a piece of white cardstock, and then I'm taking this tiny scallop punch, and that punch is from Fiskars, and I am just punching a border of that. That is going to be something I use once when I start creating my layout. It's going to be used for a border, which you'll see later. And so I do two of those. One I had already completed, and then the other one I did on camera. Next, I am going to take my photo here, and I'm going to mat it. I only do a single mat on this one, and it's with this purple, which is where I'm pulling in that purple, primarily because I was using it as a mat for this photo. And there's purple in the picture as well as the blue that I'm using in this layout, so it worked well together. And this picture is a picture of my daughter at Magic Kingdom in Orlando, and when you get off the Buzz ride, it has this place where you can take your picture with Zurg, and so my daughter jumped in behind those bars, and she thought it was quite funny that it looked like she was behind bars and Zurg was about to catch her. So that's what this photo is, just a fun one for this. And the first thing I'm doing here is, this is where my triangles or my geometric kind of pattern is coming into play. The background paper that I have a blue piece of cardstock that everything is going to be mounted on, but then I have a piece of blue pattern paper which is very thin. It's from Close to My Heart. It's really old. I don't even know the collection that it's from. It's extremely old. But that's going to be my background, and I did not attach that yet to the blue cardstock because this is what I'm going to do, and there's probably a million ways that I could have done this and had it be easier, but you'll see me struggle with this a little bit. But essentially what I'm doing is I took that white and blue piece of pattern paper and I made that a smaller triangle here on the right bottom, and then this blue, and it's really hard to see on the video, but it's not a solid blue cardstock, it's a blue tiny little check stripe in this pattern paper. It really reads as a solid, but when you see it in real life you can tell that it's a pattern paper, and that's going to be a larger size triangle at the bottom of this page. So you see me sort of fussing with, I don't know, this layout. I think I was tired when I was creating it because I think I took like the craziest approach of how to do this, but it works in the end. It does actually work, but I feel like there's probably an easier way, and people would watch this and maybe yell at me and go, yeah, you could have done this or that, but it works. And I'm securing it down. I'll go back later and glue this down more securely than I am right now, but I did that so that I could then, like I showed, cut off and have my two triangles like you see here. My two triangles are now down at the bottom of the page, and I want to not secure those to the page yet because you'll see what I'm going to do here in a second. And the next thing that I'm going to do here is I am taking that scalloped piece of washi tape that I've mounted on that white piece of scrap cardstock. Oh, but first I am taking my Chip Sapphire Distress ink, and I'm inking all the edges on this entire layout. Everything will be inked with that Chip Sapphire. And so here's where that washi strip comes into play. I am going to then mount that, and that's going to kind of be a border, little decorative border that's going to go on the edge of both of these triangles. So that was the other reason why obviously I didn't want to secure it completely to the layout until I had obviously done this. So I'm going ahead and doing this larger side, and then I'm going to repeat that same process here on the other side, inking it up first, and then I'm gluing it to the top, to the piece of cardstock, or the piece of pattern paper that is made into a triangle. I'm attaching it to the top because I want it to almost be like a pocket, and you'll see why here in a second. At least for now. I go back later off camera, I don't show it, but I do secure it, so I don't have to worry about it falling apart later. There's plenty of adhesive on it, but that's my thought for here is don't glue it down because I have a plan. So I'm just trimming off all the over edges of that washi tape so that it's all even. And this is the other reason why I didn't attach that background paper to the cardstock yet. I do all of my gluing off camera. And so now you will see why it was that I wanted to leave it so that it created a pocket on my layout. I want my photo to look like it is trapped in behind my little triangle. So that is what I did, and I'm putting a doily up in the right corner. And then you saw my title, which is Trapped, is what I called it. And that is going to go on that white pattern paper. I felt like my scallop borders, while I liked them, I felt like it just still felt unfinished where the two edges were meeting. So I took my blue polka dotted washi that I had pulled for this layout, and I'm just adding that here, and I'm going to add it on both of the triangles so it all ties together and matches. And this layout from an embellishment standpoint is pretty simple. I have two main clusters, and then I put where I showed you just a second ago that where my title is going to go. I don't actually have a cluster with my title, it's just there by itself. So there's really just two main clusters that are going to be on this page. And like I said, I am not going to show you me gluing everything down. I am going to start here now, just pulling everything and laying it where it will finally be once I glue it all down. And so I'm pulling a whole bunch of different random pieces that I pulled for my kit. Like I said, most of the embellishments are blue. This layout is definitely more on the monochromatic side. So I'm just getting everything pulled. That label that I have to finish cutting out is where my journaling is going to go. The diamond is an old piece of chipboard, I think it was from a Maggie Holmes collection, I'm not sure which one. And I'm using that sort of as a grounding, layering little element on that page, on the bottom of the page there. And the little blue tag or little blue embellishment there says "Dreams do come true," which I thought was funny because it's at Disney World. And so I am also working up in that top right corner, and I just have another one of those puffy stickers from not Amy Tam, but Dear Lizzie, that says "Love This." And then I took my Fiskars punch that has the three label sizes, and I took a piece of that purple 6x6 paper that I had pulled, and I cut some labels from that just because I wanted to add some more purple just to make it not seem so out of place that the only place it was on my photo mat. So then I took my Martha Stewart, this is like a scallop punch, and it has two different settings. You can do like just a plain full scallop circle, and then you can also do a circle and then it creates the outer ring as well. And so I'm cutting from this lighter purple paper and then this darker purple paper, two of the little scallop circle embellishments, so that those will also help bring in some more purple into my two embellishment clusters. And so just like you see there, I'm putting one in each one of my clusters. That way I get that purple, because I don't really have any purple embellishments. So I wanted to be able to pull that in from somewhere. And that was what I did. So now everything has been glued down, and I went, and as I was looking at my other things that I pulled, I decided that I wanted to add sort of a natural element. So I did pull 2 arrows from my wood veneer pile. And now, as a finishing touch, I am going to use some of the sequins. I am using a darker purpley pink color for this layout. It matches the purples that I pulled from the pattern paper. And then I am, from the blue sequins, using one of the dark purple, or the dark blues, I should say. So I'm just going to fuss around sort of for a second here with where I'm putting those sequins. So you'll see me go back and forth for a few minutes trying to figure out the perfect place, of course. I like to use my sequins like enamel dots, so I usually do them in clusters of 3, or sort of, they're generally go in 3s, however I lay them out. Sometimes they're separate, sometimes they're closer together. And the other cute thing that I like that I did on this page was here by the title. I ended up, I knew I was going to use 3 sequins, but I ended up deciding to turn it into like a little Mickey head, which you'll see. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but you will see it for sure in the close-ups at the end. And that is the finishing touch that I do on this layout. Apart from that, I'm going to stamp my date, but that will be the last thing that I do. So if you are enjoying these videos, make sure you subscribe so you can see what else I make with my kit. And we're almost at the end of the month, so we'll see what else I get made with my In the Mood kit for February. I do plan to do a new kit for March, so make sure you stay tuned to see what that's going to be, and the close-ups will be coming up. Talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.